Hey guys, my name is Dran, and I like making manga, comics, webtoons, whatever you want to call it. If you're one of my 125 subscribers, you may be wondering why a channel that's made videos on Sonic and grip strength is making a video on manga. And that's cause I want to. My main passion has always been in art. Ever since I was a little kid, I was drawing Sonic on stapled paper. And now specifically, I like storytelling through art. And today, I'm gonna run you guys through my process for making manga and comic, as I have just finished my latest one-shot called Penumbra. Psst, if you want to read that, that's in the description, thanks! So, these are the steps. I write, I make concept art, I make thumbnails, and then I do the final drafts. I'll go through each step and show you how I go about them. Just to be clear, this is a video about my workflow when it comes to manga creation. It's not a tutorial video. However, if you're an artist that wants to make comics, I give some tips later in the video, so enjoy, my friends! So, this is where I write out the plot, characters, and world. But the main thing to write first is not world building. World building is easily the most fun, but it's the most time consuming, and because of that, we can't start with it. But if you want to start with it, I mean, you can. You can make your giant One Piece with world, you know, I'm not stopping you. But for me personally, it takes way too long, I can't, and I prefer not to start with it. For Penumbra, the plot was mainly handled by my friend who's a writer, but usually I do the writing by myself, so I'll go through this anyway. I'll be the first to say I'm not the best writer. I'm definitely an artist first, writer second, so I'm still learning. If you want to learn how to write, there's better sources right here. So I start by creating an interesting idea, concept, something fun that I can spin into a story. It can be a concept for a character, concept for a world, a funny situation expanded upon, really anything. Then, after 6 months of struggling to come up with an idea, I'll write about the character with a short bio, and what their goals are, what their traits are, who they are, and if they're the protagonist or antagonist or side character. Writing can get complicated fast, so it's important for myself to have all of this organized. Templates can help for sure, or if you're a schizo like me, just have a million notepad files. Just a million notepad files of all the story details. That's not good, don't do that. The writing is usually what takes the longest, if I'm being honest. I try to get through it as fast and effectively as possible to start the creation process so as to not be stuck in an internal writing state, where I have more of a novel than manga.
Finally, after 80 years, I've created my masterpiece, Big Man Kissing Paradise. Time to upload on Webtoons. What? There's like 50 of these already.
Concept art. Once I feel confident enough in the plot and who will be involved in it, I start drawing the characters a ton. It's important to be able to draw your characters easily, as you'll be doing that a lot. It's also important to use it as a reference so your characters can stay consistent. There's lots of ways to try to make your characters stand out and look unique. There's one method where you can take a silhouette and be like, is my character iconic from this silhouette? Do they have an iconic shadow? The method I use is to try to tell their personality through how they look. You're also going to be drawing these characters a lot, so try to not go overboard with the details. Usually you don't really need that many details anyway, just things that give your character life. So let's talk about a character I designed. Her name is Pyro, the protagonist in Penumbra. She's extroverted, strong, confident, reckless, and likes to go with the flow. So to give her that idea, I gave her arm and ankle wraps that literally go with the flow of the wind. They're never static. I also gave her big muscles, because of course. And also an outfit that represents someone who's confident in themselves and their strength. And finally, a birthmark on her eye that stretches to her hair. This detail in particular I put to nod to the fact that she's not like the other witches, but also to make you wonder what's going on there. It's pretty similar to how a character with scars will tell you they've been through some tough battles before. If you've seen my art, you'll notice I like girls with muscles. And if that bothers you, you might also notice the door. Thumbnails are vital for storyboarding in comics. You can find many different formats and templates. For me, I use this one I whipped up, literally just pages. How you use thumbnails is totally up to you. There's no rules, but if I were to give some tips, this is what they'd be. Number 1, write stuff down that's important, either in the page or elsewhere. This is good to refer to when you inevitably forget what this was supposed to even be. I'm trying to look, I don't even know what that is. What is that? Number 2, try to keep it organized and simple, because, you know, these can be fun to draw because they're so small, but you don't want to lose what's supposed to be going on. I know I have. And then give it a good read through, pay attention to any patterns, like did I use this panel format too much, change that. Did I use this pose or angle too much, change that. Personally, I find it's important to not overuse the same poses and positions, and I'm still working on this myself, so practice makes perfect. Finally, the final drafts. And this is the part where I draw the manga. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, comment, let me know how that made you feel. JK LMAO Rafflecopter, I'm so sorry about that. Here on the big boy pages we start. Now you can take your thumbnails and put them here to serve as your rough draft, to then start your final draft as soon as possible. Or make another rough draft like me, like a psychopath. Like, whenever I do this part, I really just use my thumbnails as a reference point for where we are in the story, what's happening next, and what to show. And it works for me because sometimes there's stuff that I want to add that I may have forgotten in the thumbnail work, so I can just make a new rough draft based off of the context. Is it inefficient? Probably. Is it slow? Definitely. But it's how I do things. And it's like I say, this is a purely personalized process, a workflow. It's how I do things. And you'll find that there's not one way up the mountain. Like other ways are clean, mine is full of sharp rocks. So after making the rough draft blue, I draw over it. Why do I make it blue? It's easier on me eyes. Overall, this is the part of the process where I stick things together and get creative. And for fight scenes, I sometimes don't even do thumbnail work for them. I really just do it when I'm in this phase, as I find it's much more fun. And that's it. This process can take however much time it takes you to do everything. I, for one, take way too long to do all of this, especially because I'm juggling a job and other responsibilities. But if I can make it work, you can as well. If this video helped you in any way, I would appreciate a like or a subscription, please. Very nice, yum yum yum, internet points, me likey. Today's video is also sponsored by me. It's sponsored by me. I have a new one-shot which I mentioned earlier. It's called Penumbra, and it's the thing I've been showing this entire video. It's about two buff witches who are stuck in a town held prisoner by a giant titan. They also fight. Links are in the bio. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much.